Why, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome back to Crimson Vow, where we are taking another crack at the format. This time we are going with Red, Black, Blood. Now, last time we went against a couple Red-Black decks. One of them went heavy on blood and didn't do very much. The other one went light on blood and killed us with reasonably big creatures. Two of which were Rot-Tide Gargantua, a 5-mana 5/4, and Pyrespawn, a 6-mana 6/4 that lightning bolts when it dies. We have both of these cards. We also have 3 copies of Abrade, a premium removal spell, 2-mana instant, deal 3 damage to a creature, and it can destroy an artifact for good measure. We also have Reckless Impulse, a 2-mana card draw spell, kind of. It's 2 mana, exile the top 2 of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. It actually sounds like it has turned out to be a decent card draw spell. We have Blood Tithe Harvester, we have Magma Pummeler. This is a very pauper deck. We have no rears of any kind, which makes me a little nervous because this is supposedly a Prince format, but we'll see how we do. Let's get it on. Straight into it. Our opponent is going first. Got a good looking draw. 3 lands, 2 Blood Petal Celebrants as 2-drops, as well as an Abrade, and then a 4-mana drop, a Bloodsworn Squire. Opponent's going Swamp. He got another 2-drop, a Blood Tithe Harvester. I'm not mad about that. If we're not going to be drawing land, drawing a 2-drop is a-okay. I could put out the Blood Tithe Harvester straight away, but then it is potentially just walking into removal. I think we're going to go for the Blood Petal Celebrant first. This is a 2/1 vampire. Has first strike when it's attacking, and when it dies it makes us a blood token. Opponent plays another swamp, so they're monocolor so far, and nothing else. Go ahead and attack them. They'll let us. They do. And it's 20-18. Very good. Well, I feel like they would have used a removal spell there if they had one. So I think we're going to go ahead and put down the Blood Tithe Harvester. Gives us a blood token. That Hero's Downfall. You know, I'm not honestly too sad about that. Okay, we'll turn it over to them. Thinking about cracking this blood token. We don't have a ton of blood payoffs in this deck, so I might just want to ditch it, get rid of one of these lands, and cycle. Ah, the second color emerges. It is green. Yep, let's go ahead and crack the blood at the end of their turn. Get rid of a mountain. Draw a blood-crazed socialite. Sounds good to me. So this next turn was going to be tricky because we had a 4-drop Bloodsworn Knight, which is pretty cool. It's a 3/3 that you can discard cards to make it indestructible. But we wouldn't have mana to activate it. But we drew the blood-crazed socialite, so this is another 4-drop, but one I'm less attached to. And it does give us another blood token when it comes into play. Hit him with the Blood Petal Celebrant again. There's a definite concern here. Our opponent is not playing things, and if they just drop like a 5-mana 5/5, that could be trouble for us. They drop an Unhallowed Phalanx. This is a 5-mana 1/13 that comes into play tapped. We gotta get our damage while the getting's good. Go ahead and attack with our Blood Petal Celebrant and our Socialite. Yeah. We'll sacrifice our blood to it to get a 5/5. It's now 20-9. We're putting the beat down on him pretty hard. Now what do we want to do? I think we just want to spend all our mana. So we're going to go Voldaran Epicure, 1-drop, and a Bloodsworn Squire. Alright, they have many things they need to answer at this point. They play another Unhallowed Phalanx. Pretty soon they're going to have a lot of blockers, but not yet. Just go ahead and attack with everything. Do I want to sacrifice a blood token? I kind of do. That incentivizes them to block our 5/5. They do not. They go for our Bloodsworn Squire. Why would they do that? Oh, they concede. Alright, well. Looks like they just didn't have answers for our aggressive start. They did not have enough cheap interaction or cheap creatures. Very good. Alright, game 1. On the books, a victory for us. I'll see you in game 2.
Hello, it's me, Corbin. Why should you listen to Dames and Dragons D&D Actual Play podcast found on iTunes, Google Play, and more, you ask? Because, my friend, if you're a crow living in a giant featherless body, and who isn't, you will adore this show! It's relatable, it's funny, it's full of crows, mainly one, who is me. It's original, it's fast-paced, it's worms, it's corn chips. I'm hungry. Be sure to listen to Dames and Dragons while I get a snack.
Game 2 with Bloodless Blood. You know, I call it Bloodless Blood, but we do have some blood. This hand has 2 Reckless Impulses, a Bloodsworn Squire, and a Sanguine Statuette. Does it do enough? We'll see. We're going to keep it. We'll play a Mountain and Pass. I'm thinking we're going to do a turn 2 Statuette and a turn 3 Impulse. Opponent goes Evolving Wild Swamp, so another black deck. Player Statuette, very good. So the Statuette makes a blood token when it comes into play, and then when we use a blood token, it becomes a 3/3 until end of turn. Opponent plays Panic Bystander, 2-mana 2/2. When it or another of their creatures dies, they gain a life, and then at the end of turn, if they gain 3 or more life, it turns into Cackling Culprit, which is a 3/5 with the same ability, but you can pay to give it Death Touch. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. Let's do what we said we wanted to do, and Reckless Impulse. Gives us a couple lands. Okay, that's not bad. And let's put the Voldaran Epicure out. Gives us some more blood. They play Doomed Dissenter, a 1/1 that dies into a 2/2. Okay, they hit us with their Bystander. So it is now 18-19. Let's see, what do we want to do here? I think we just want to play a Squire. Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. I'm hesitating because we could sacrifice our Statuette to block one or both of their creatures. Yeah, let's use up our mana. We're going to go ahead and play the Bloodsworn Squire. I mean, I don't mind the play there of holding up Statuette and hoping they walk into it, but A, that's hoping that they play poorly, and B, that's not using our mana very effectively. Okay, our opponent Hero's Downfalls our Squire, so we're going to block. Let's block their Dissenter. So we take another 2 damage. It's 16-19. 16-20. They gain life from the Bystander, and now they have a zombie. Alright, good. Fine. Alright, this turn, what if we Reckless Impulse? Gets us 2 more lands. That's good. Go ahead and play one of them. And then pass. Now, we're kind of hoping that they are on autopilot right now and just attack into us. If they do, we can Statuette and kill one of their things. They play Heron of Hope, 2/3 flyer. When they gain life, they gain that much +1, and it can gain lifelink. Okay. Okay, so they did. activate the statuette, block their bystander. It's 14 to 22. Okay. We drew Honeymoon Hearse. I'm not excited about that. Black. So that's a vehicle that requires 2 creatures. We only have 1 creature. They play another Heron of Hope, so we're getting low and their flying squad might be the end of us here. Okay, they're attacking with the zombie. I mean, we are once again going to activate our statuette and just eat their zombie for free. They hit us for 2. We draw another land. Ooh, we are getting flooded out something fierce here. Play a land. Play the hearse. Attack. We're attacking with our Skulking Killer, a 4-2, because we can't block with it, and there's no chance that they block it. They play Groom's Finery. This is an equipment that's going to give a creature +2/+0. Yeah, they're just racing us with their herons. We drew another land. So let's see real quick. So 12 of our 19 cards we've drawn this game have been lands. I don't have to tell you that that is not a good ratio. They're equipping. They're probably activating for some lifelink. Yep. And they're going to hit us for 6 in the air. We're at 2. Pretty sure there's nothing that could save us. Certainly not a doomed dissenter. So that's game 2. Unfortunate draw. And that was even with them attacking into our statuette twice. Oh well. Can't do much about those. When you draw 12 lands out of 19 cards, you're not going to win very many games. We're 1-1. Let's continue on. Okay. This game, I like this draw. So we have 3 mountains and 2 black spells, but they're 4-drops, so we have time to draw into a swamp. And we have a Reckless Impulse to help us do that, and a Braid to take something out. So this actually looks pretty good to me. We'll see if they offer us anything to a Braid, otherwise we can Reckless Impulse quite easily. Swamp, another swamp. My goodness. We haven't drawn anything, they haven't played anything. I think we just pass. See if they give us a target to a Braid. They do. A Ragged Recluse. We're going to go ahead and Braid that. Use up our mana. Now we're going to play our Reckless Impulse. Draw 2 cards. Did draw a land, but it's another mountain. We would really love to have a swamp next turn. A swamp, if they play a creature, would give us... Oof. They play a Falconwrath Forebear. 3/1 flying can't block. When it damages us, they get a blood token, and they can sack 2 blood tokens to get back onto the battlefield. Yikes. Well, we have the next best thing, which is we're going to upgrade it. Being in black-white, I think it'll be harder for them to get blood tokens than... Whew. That was the sound of me reacting to them playing Sorin the Mirthless. So this is going to put out 2/3 flying vampire creatures with lifelink. I mean... And we still have not drawn our swamp. So we have to make the very embarrassing play of Honeymoon Hearse. You know, I said in our set review I've never been impressed by vehicles in Limited, and that trend is continuing here. They hit us, it's 18 to 19. Eek. Then they play a Kindly Ancestor. 2/3 lifelink. Alright, so we have at long last drawn our swamp, but it may be too little too late, because we're going to play a Blood Crazed Socialite. 3/3 menace makes a blood token. Meanwhile, they have a 2/3 flying lifelink and a 2/3 lifelink, and And on their turn, I imagine they're going to make another 2/3 flying lifelink with Sorin. At which point, I don't really know what we do. They play Persistent Specimen, a 1/1 skeleton that you can buy back from the graveyard, and Fell Stinger, which is going to, I assume, exploit the Persistent Specimen. Indeed. So target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. They're going to aim that at themselves, of course. And they do use Sorin to make another 2/3 flyer. We drew a Blood Petal Celebrant. We're not winning this game. I'm going to go ahead and concede. They already have an unstoppable force, and it's only getting more unstoppable as the game goes on. We do not have something to deal with this. Oof, 1 swamp a little bit earlier. We even drew 2 cards to try to get there. I'm not sure if this is an issue with the deck or if we're just getting unlucky. It feels like it's just a bit of bad luck. We have one game where we draw almost nothing but lands, and the next, even though we draw some extra cards, we cannot find a swamp to literally save our lives. Well, let's go for win number 2 here. I guess worst case scenario, we have equaled our output for the first draft that we did. Okay, I mean, a pretty similar hand. 3 mountains, and a Braid, a Reckless Impulse, and a Blood Crazy Socialite, but we also have a Magma Pummeler. I really do like the opening of a Braid and Reckless Impulse. Our opponent goes Island Ceremonial Knife, which is very weird. Why is that weird? Well, Ceremonial Knife is an equipment that helps you make blood tokens, and the blood colors in this set are black-red, not blue. So, presumably we're going against black-blue or blue-red, rather. Okay, opponent is doing nothing so far, so we're actually going to hit them with a Blood Petal Celebrant, which we just drew. 2 mana, 2/1, has first strike on our turn. So all of our opponents have been playing black so far. Interesting. Ooh, they play one of my favorite pet cards, Boarded Window. It's an artifact that gives creatures attacking you -1/-0, but at the beginning of each end step, if you took 4 more damage, you exile that card. Very interesting. Well, we're going to go ahead and hit for 1. And then we've got 3 mana sitting around. We really want to draw a freaking swamp. I'm just going to end the turn. We could have Reckless Impulse there, but I don't see that as being great in this moment. And I would like to cast a Braid on something. They're not going to let us, though. So they played Parasitic Grasp. 3 damage to target creature, they gain 3 life. Do we just activate our blood token at the end of their turn? What are we going to discard? This Doomed Dissenter? You know what? Yes. Drew a Blood Tithe Harvester, and then on our turn, a Skulking Killer. Please, God, we need a swamp. How about a Rot Tide Gargantua and yet another mountain? Is that what you wanted? They play an Unhallowed Phalanx, the 1/13. It's our turn. We got another Reckless Impulse, which we're going to have to play. Flipped into a Desperate Farmer and a mountain. So now what? Now nothing. I mean, we have an Braid with no targets. I guess we could Braid the Boarded Window. It's an instant, so we'll put a stop on their turn. I guess that's our best play. If they do nothing else. They play a Groom's Finery. We might kill that, actually, with our Braid. So they have that, and they have Ceremonial Knife. Which would we rather get rid of? I guess the Knife. Just keep them off blood tokens. We have drawn a swamp. Now the question is that going to be enough? I just don't know. So we have a total of 6 mana here. The maximum we could spend all of it to get a 4/4 Magma Pummeler. Just not that interesting to me, honestly. I could cast my Depraved Harvester. I guess we're gonna do that. The reason I'm a little bit sad that that's what we had to do. So that was one of our Reckless Impulse cards, and we would have to cast that card this turn or we lose it forever. But it's only 3 mana, so we're just letting 3 mana fall by the wayside right now. So they're equipping the Phalanx with the Groom's Finery, so we're just going to take 3 here. 16 and 22. Okay, another swamp. That's actually pretty useful. So now we have a total of 7 mana to play with. I think we're going to Blood Crazed Socialite, make a blood token, and Blood Tithe Harvester, make another blood token, and pass the turn. What we're setting up for here is a massive Magma Pummeler. We have not cast that card so far. It is a red X, comes to play with X 1/1 counters on it. If damage would be dealt to it with 1/1 counters on it, prevent the damage, remove that mini 1/1 counters, and then when they're removed, it does that much damage to any target. It is a complicated card. Basically, when it gets hit, it shrinks, but it does that much damage to any target you like. I think it's actually quite strong, and next turn we'll be able to put it down as a 6/6 if we want. Not bad. I have to say, I've been extremely underwhelmed by the Skulking Killer, which is a 4/2 that gives a creature -2/2 if they have no other creatures. That just has not happened. And we have triple Abrade, so I don't know. Maybe in a different draw, one that was actually smooth with the lands, that would be good. Our opponent went Wonderlight Spirit. They're coming at us with their Unhallowed Phalanx. I think we're going to block with the Blood Tithe Harvester. It's going to die, which turns our Desperate Farmer into a Depraved Harvester. It's a 4/3 lifelink. Now it's our turn. So next we're going to attack with both our creatures, I believe. Sacrifice a blood token to the Blood Crazed Socialite. It's now a 4/5 menace. And see what they do. They just take it. So now it's 19 to 15. We can go land and Magma Punnel for the full value. We also did 4 or more damage, so they lose their bordered window, which is nice. Now our Magma Pummeler is so big that we could block the Unhallowed Phalanx and just kill it. I don't know how awesome that is, though, to be honest. They play Vampire's Kiss. They gain 2 life, we lose 2, and they get 2 blood tokens. And they played Courier Pat and got back their Panicked Bystander. The Skulking Killer just looks so awful. Every single round, it's just been a 4/2 creature for 4 mana. That is just god-awful. They're attacking us with their Blood Servitor. Their Wonderlight Spirit. They have not decided if that's what they really want to do. Just the Wonderlight Spirit. Got it. Okay, at this point, I think we're going to start by... We drew a Blood Petal Celebrant. It sucks. We could sacrifice a blood token right now. Do we just attack with the Pummeler? I think so. So by attacking with just the Pummeler, they can trade their Unhallowed Phalanx for it. That's exactly what they want to do. We've got 3 damage to throw. We'll kill the Wanderlight Spirit or the bat. I think the bat. And then go ahead and sacrifice the blood token, ditch a mountain, get a swamp, Yahoo, play the celebrant, play the stupid skulking killer, and turn it over to them. We've got a lot of creatures, but they are all extremely underwhelming. So they play Lunar Rejection and return our Blood Crazed Socialite to our hand. I mean, of all the things they could have returned, this one gives us a blood token, so I don't really get that. I'd have returned our Depraved Harvester and made us recast it and try to retransform it. They're hitting us for 2 with their Spirit. We drew Honeymoon Hearse. Well, for the first time we have enough creatures that we may at some point activate it. So let's go ahead and put it out there. And then what? Pass. So we're getting hit down for 2 each turn. Got a lot of creatures, but not any good way to get through their board. They're playing Soul Cipher board, which is a slow card draw engine. If I were them, I'd move that Groom's Finery over to my Wanderlight Spirit. And just start clocking me for 4 every turn. They play Diregraph Scavenger, a 2/3 Death Touch. I mean, that's very good against us. Our dorky ground creatures gonna get stopped by the Diregraph Scavenger. They're happy just hitting us for 2 each turn, which I find puzzling. So we got Sanguine Statuette. Whatever. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna attack with our Pummeler. They're gonna block with something. Probably the Unhallowed Phalanx. I think their best play is just let me hit them, but we'll see if they do it. Nope. Instead, they're blocking with their Blood Servitor. So we get to throw 2 extra damage at them. And then, I don't think we want this statuette that we drew. It doesn't really do anything, so let's go ahead and ditch it. Draw a Bloodsworn Squire. Go ahead and play that, I guess. Whatever. It's 9-17 right now. The only reason to keep the Groom's Finder on their Unhallowed Phalanx is to stop my Depraved Harvester, my 4/3 lifelinker, from being able to just swing and get me 4 life each turn. But now they have a small Death Touch creature in play, so there's really no point in that. I really would, if I were them, just move that equipment onto their flyer and start bashing my head in. They Vampires Kiss us. It's 7-19. They're working some more on their Soul Cipher board. Eventually it will turn into a 3/2 flying creature. They'll let them draw cards. I mean, the board is stalled out, so this is a fine thing for them to be doing, but honestly, they could be winning this faster just by hitting us in the air. The reason I bring this up is I don't think Soul Cipher is very good, and this is just kind of more confirmation that that's true. It's helping them win the game even more than they were previously, and they could be doing something better, namely hitting me for more damage. Alright, my turn. It's time to start attacking, because we can't just sit back here any longer. So let's go ahead and man the Honeymoon Hearse. Submit 2 there. Then go to combat and attack with all our creatures. Math is for blockers, as they say. They have no cards in hand. We're at 5. So they're blocking our Hearse and our Depraved Harvester. So we hit them down to 7. go up to 9. Let's play our Lightning Wolf and pass it over to them. I mean, there is a world where we win. Even if they transform their Soul Cipher board, they can't kill us in Alpha Strike. If they turn it into a creature, they can block 3 of our things and still die. Oh, that's great news for us. They played another Unhallowed Phalanx. They tap the Soul Cipher board. I think they're just dead. I believe they are dead on board. And they attack us for 2 with the Wanderlight Spirit. So they have 1 creature to block, and they're going to take well over 7 damage. I believe if we just attack, we win. That is correct. Wow. I honestly, truly believe if they had just equipped the Groom's Finery to their flying creature, they would have won. Well, we're 2-2 now, and we are in silver. That ain't nothing. It's all about improvement, and no matter what else happens here, we have improved. Very good, very good. See you in game 5. Man. Game 5. We've got a swamp and a mountain. My god. 2 Abrades, a Blood Petal Celebrant, a Honeymoon Hearse, and a Lightning Wolf. Seems totally reasonable. 2 lands, 2 Abrades, and a 2-drop creature is a fine formula for success. But it goes plains. Now, if I have to hazard a guess here, I think their next land will be a swamp. Survey says... Oh, another plains, so we're not out of it yet. They played Twin Blade Geist, 1/1 double strike. And it can disturb from the graveyard into an enchantment that gives a creature double strike. Quite strong, quite strong. I think what we do here is we Blood Petal Celebrant and let them go. They'll probably clock us for 2, and then we can Abrade, hit them with the Celebrant. Ooh, so this is good. They go Radiant Grace. It's an aura that gives that creature +1/+1 Vigilance. When the enchanted creature dies, you return Radiant Grace transformed onto the battlefield, and it makes our creatures come to play tapped. But this does give us something like a 2-for-1. They do hit us down to 16, though. A little spooky. We're going to go ahead and Abrade that, though. That's what you get for playing auras. Hit them back, so it's 16 to 18. Okay, forest. So green is their other color. Oof. Okay, so they played Kindly Ancestor. So this is a 2/3 lifelinker. I think they're going to go for the Twin Blade Invocation on their turn, at which point we can Abrade it. I think I'm going to attack them. Try to bluff and get some damage in. They'd have to be crazy to block this. Indeed, they do not. So it's 16 to 16. We're going to play a land, pass to them, and then hopefully Abrade their Kindly Ancestor out from under their aura. Their best play here, I believe, is to play anything else they could, not the aura. Very wisely, they go for the Heron of Hope instead. Okay. So the question here is, do we go ahead and try... Do we go ahead and Abrade anyway? No. I think we're just going to go ahead and pass. Because now what we can do is play another land, cast a 3-drop in the form of Desperate Farmer, go for another attack. They go for a block with the Heron of Hope. It's interesting to me that they didn't block last time, but now they want to block. we have the same amount of mana up. Well, we lose our creature. On the plus side, we get a blood token, and we get to transform our farmer into the harvester. I'm still really hoping that they go for this aura on top of probably their kindly ancestor. So they are playing it, but they're putting on their Heron of Hope, which doesn't seem wise to me. Because if they put it on their ancestor, at least they would get an aura in their graveyard that they could play. They hit us for 2 with the lifelink, so now it's 12 to 21. But now we can go attack with our Depraved Harvester. They have Fierce Retribution. Destroy an attacking creature. That does get us quite nicely. Okay, play the Bloodsworn Squire. God, I hate that we have to say that so often. It's so hard to say. And end. Laid to Rest. This is the A-level uncommon from the set. It's a green enchantment. When a human you control dies, draw a card. When a creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it dies, you gain 2 life. So far, they have played neither of these things, so not too impressive. Meanwhile, their kindly ancestor is just ranching us. It's 10 to 23. So now we can go land, hit them with our Squire, Lightning Wolf, end the turn. Kind of running out of creatures here. They hit us for 2 with their ancestor again. Now they're playing Griffwing Cavalry. 2/2 flying training. When it attacks, you may pay 2. If you do, the attacking creature gains flying. Okay. We're just going to attack them. They take it. It's 8 to 15. Play a Skulking Killer. That, again, does nothing. It's a 4/2. And we're going to end the turn. At the end of their turn, we're going to blood token away our Honeymoon Hearse. They play Cloaked Cadet. Now this is good for them because it's a human. 2/4 training. When one or more 1/1 counters are put into one or more humans you control, draw a card. You get that only once per turn. I mean, a 2/4 blocker is very good for them anyway. They hit us down to 4. We have to blood token. We get a swamp, and then our draw step, we get another swamp. So we have nothing to stop them from hitting us for 4 in the air on their turn, so we die. The end. Good game. Well played. Dang, I feel like we were relatively close there. You know, it's interesting, for this deck, which had 3 Abrades, which is very good, definitely one of the strongest cards we had in the deck, it felt very removal light. We didn't have a lot of options, especially when the creatures got of any significant size. Like a 4 toughness creature was just very difficult for us to deal with in general. We did have some bigger creatures, but we never seemed to get there. There's some mixture of bad luck in some of the games in terms of the lands that we were drawing, but in general we didn't have a way to deal with bigger creatures. Okay, well, as I said, we are learning, we are getting a little bit better. I hope you'll join me next time.